Hello YouTube, Komodo Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Scrap Mechanic. Today we are going to build a 2.5 ton army truck and probably a howitzer gun that's going to attach to the back of it. I've already started the build here. We're going to skip over and get through some of the boring crap. So I'm going to do something a little bit different with the suspension in the back, so I'm going to go ahead and show that. I'm going to combine the two and just see if I can get a real nice ride in the back. I always struggle with some of these bigger builds and the how the back end rides, so I'm going to try this. It's going to be something a little bit new. Next we're going to go up to the front and kind of build the front. It's going to look pretty standard like some of my other diesels, I imagine, but we'll try to change it up and make it look a little bit different from the picture. Alright, another thing I'm going to do, I like to, I was thinking I was just going to paint it all at the end, but knowing all the little nooks and crannies in here, I'm going to have to paint as I go along. If not, I'm going to have to like do a lot of moving around, and I really don't feel like doing that. So you're gonna see me pull out the paint tool quite a bit and just paint as we go along here. I've got a picture going along at this. If this looks a little high to you, I mean it's gonna compress quite a bit. It's I'm using all metal for this build, so you know, if it looks high right now, just keep in mind it is going to go down. Yeah, I had to tell myself that several times. I was looking at it a while ago. I was like, man, this thing sets way too high. And I was like, well, never mind. It's gonna go down. So, anyways, we're working on the engine compartment here. I'm gonna try that for the grill. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. The grill in the picture that I'm looking at, it looks a little more closed. A bit smaller, so I don't know if we're going to use that for sure, but it's kind of there for a placeholder. Give me an idea of where the grill needs to be. Now for the base, I did make it as far as how wide it is an uneven amount of blocks. That way I can have a hitch on the back and it'd be completely centered, because I am going to put some sort of gun on the back. But yeah, let's continue to do this, and we're going to go work on the cockpit probably next. And I'm going to have to look at the picture and make sure this is wide enough. Alright, let's cut that. I had to do real quick, I had to make it 1 block wider. Actually, no, 2 blocks wider. You know, there's not really a right way to build some of these things. A lot of times I like to start with these suspensions. Sometimes I like to start with the cockpit. In this case, I probably should have started with the cockpit, because I realized that I couldn't fit 2 seats like side by side, and I couldn't have doors, so I had to make it just a little bit wider, and we changed the front up. I'm not going to use that grill anymore. That grill wasn't very I don't know, it was just way too tall, and it didn't look right. It made the front end, like, I'm trying to make this to scale with like a 2.5 ton. I've got a whole bunch of pictures pulled up on Google here, and it just wasn't to scale at all. So we've got a little smaller grill. I might have to move it up. Not sure yet. I need to go ahead and figure out a system and kind of a canopy in the cockpit here. I'm probably going to have to, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave like a sunroof or something in the top. The only reason you're going to see a hole up in the roof is because the way Scrap Mechanic ejects the player, for whatever reason, it still ejects from the top. So when I eject out, it gets stuck in the roof, and I have to destroy half the roof to get out. So I'm going to leave a hole in the roof. Hopefully that gets, I mean, I don't even know if that's an issue that's getting looked at. Maybe I should actually tweet that out to them and say, hey, is this something that you're looking at? But hopefully they clear that up. That should be black. But yeah, that's a little unfortunate. I like the builds to look as real as possible, and you know, something even as like, you know, something as little as having a hole in the roof it's gonna kind of suck to have. So let's see, I gotta make sure my big head's clearing here. I need to go 1 more block up and I should be okay. Let's see. I'm probably gonna have opening doors. I'll have an opening hood. The back area is just gonna be like a storage area. I'm really excited about the whole back part of this. Besides the trailer, the howitzer attached. The actual storage area. I mean, these 2.5 tons are they have so many different types of them. Some are like troop transport, some are just simple storage areas. I mean, there's a lot of like customized, you know, you could really do this however you want. But I think I'm going to keep mine as like a storage area. So let's get the roof here. I'm going to go ahead and just cover the whole thing. We'll cut a hole out of it. We'll cut a hole in it here in a minute. That looks good. The front grill, you know, I think I'm going to raise it up one. I got to cut some more off the top here also. That other grill, it looks cool, but it sets too high and I can't really use it. At least with this one, it actually looks a lot closer to the 2-ton grill. So, something like that. I'll have to reposition the lights. Maybe I'll add one above them, give it a little bit more, make the front end look a little bit more busy. Also, I'm going to need to extend out the bumper. So, got quite a bit more work here to do in the front. We'll paint it up, and we'll get to working on the back end here in a second. There we go. Alright, we've got to extend this bumper out. I've miscalculated a lot of things here in the front. At first, it was really way too tall, and it wasn't wide enough. I had to go back quite a few times to go just like correct my mistakes, but I think the scale is a lot closer now, so we should be good to go here. And the cab's almost done. I really want to show how I'm going to do the back. The back's, it's going to be simple, but I just want to kind of make it different. It's not going to be just like standard pieces, you know. I could just be lazy and just make some like just a metal enclosed area back. Well, not enclosed area, just like a metal, just trailer back there, and it wouldn't look that good. But I've got some blocks I'm going to try to use. Let's place. Looks like a lot of these have some sort of indicator lights. Hopefully, we get some new lights in Scrap Mechanic. I'd like some different options here, but those are supposed to represent the indicators. So let's look at the back here. Let's go ahead and place for our doors. They have these nice side steps on the side of the doors. That's a cool piece. I think it's actually the staircase railing, or no, or actually just the steps on the staircase. But they make really cool side steps on vehicles. Just gonna grab some more parts back. Let's go ahead and just make a door. The door's gonna be simple. One issue I do have sometimes with doors, like the doors can be the exact same on like both sides, but for some reason, when they go back to close, one of them doesn't close all the way. I don't know what causes that, especially when it's the same on both sides, but hopefully we don't have that issue. But yeah, that looks, I'm looking at the picture, this looks good. I mean, the scale, I should be able to jump up in it easy. It's going to compress quite a ways down, so I should be able to use that side step and hop up in it. I'm going to build a little bit of some sort of a base for the back here, but the floor, it's probably going to be raised. They've got a weird design on the one I'm looking at. Like, I don't want to use just standard metal blocks. I'm going to grab some of these unique pieces, and we'll probably line up the back with these. Let's see, which other ones do I want to use here? They've got such a... they've got a nice selection. Sometimes I just don't use enough of the unique parts for my builds, and I need to get better about doing that, so... I'm going to try that. Also, I'm taking suggestions. I've got a list going. I've been listening to everybody's comments, and there's been a lot of suggestions. So I am writing things down. If you've made a suggestion, it could have been weeks ago, and I haven't gotten around to it. It's just, I'm just kind of working at my own pace right now. It's, with real work and all that. Sometimes it's tough to get out and put all these builds, because I do have builds that I want to do that haven't been suggested. It's just something that I thought of, and then also trying to do some of the viewer builds. This one was somewhat suggested by a viewer. I've heard for like a 2-ton, like an army truck, and I've also heard for something with 6 wheels. So I'm trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. And I'm hoping that this turns out right. The cockpit already looks cool. I'm happy with the way it looks, even though it kind of looks like a standard diesel, but I think with the combination of the back here and then having the gun on it and just the beefy the suspension, I think it's going to handle great. I don't really know what else I could do with the suspension, to be honest with you. It's just I've got it really beefed up in the back because I know it's going to be heavy back here, and hopefully this design works. This will be something I can use and something that you could use for your builds too. I don't think the back wheels were wide enough, to be honest with you. Yeah. Alright, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and do the back wheels, so we'll just cut those off. And let's go ahead and paint some more. That way I don't have to go back and get under this thing. Paint the door. I'm not I might repaint that one like beam that I just painted green. I'm gonna put the back on first, and then I'll look at it because I want to change. Like, this is the green I want to use, but I don't want the whole thing to be just completely green. So I'm gonna try to mix some black in with it. That's why I'm doing the frame black. So yeah, I'll go back in there, and I might go back and change that. Really, I want to put everything together first and really see how it turns out. I'm gonna change the design up. We're gonna go from the beam, and then it looks like there's some sort of, I don't even know what it is. Whatever's in between that supports the bed itself has some weird looking design on some of the pictures I'm looking. So thinking something like this. We'll just switch it up. We'll go 2 of that block and then 1 of this, and we'll just continue that all the way to the back, and then we'll actually lay a bed on it. And then for the sides, I'm going to do some sort of railing. I'm not going to cover the sides completely. I want you to kind of be able to see into it and just try to make it. I'm trying to change it up as much as possible for you guys, because I know Scrap Mechanic, you've got a limited amount of parts, and some of the builds start to look the same. Thankfully, the paint tool came out, so everybody's build's going to start looking unique again. But there's quite a few builds out there that's like, these all look pretty similar, and it's really not the creator's fault. There's only so many things, especially if everybody wants to do, the same type of build, everything starts to look the same. So I'm going to try to be unique here. And yeah, let's see. I need to widen the wheelbase, create a bed, and we should be in pretty good shape here as far as the back. And we'll get ready to do some sort of hitch for the howitzer. There we go. I guess I'm going to keep the bed. We'll keep it just metal. So this will be the bed. This is where we'll store things. We can put, I don't know, just our different items, boxes, supplies, whatever we need. And this is what I'm thinking of using for the railings on the side. This piece, maybe I should put some blocks in between, because this is going to be a little too long. So maybe I can switch it up. Let's put a block here. And maybe we'll throw in railing here. Something like this. And then we'll mix it up. I'm trying to see how wide this is. We might have to put 2 blocks there. So let's do it like this. And then we'll start stacking the blocks up in between. Make it look like supports. So maybe something like this. I'm also curious how that paints. These railings, do they paint all the way, or can I paint them? Hopefully I can, because I don't want them to be completely, I don't want them to be silver, so I don't know. Let's get our paint tool out. Oh, wrong color. All right, let's get the side paint in, and well, it paints the outer part. It does keep some sort of a little bit of silver in there, but that'll actually be fine. I'm not worried about that. That looks cool. Let's go and paint the rest of the screen. I think I'm gonna do that bottom rail black, just to kind of switch the colors up. Let's get this side done real quick. God, I love this paint tool. This paint tool is absolutely fantastic. So definitely big thanks for the developers over at Scrap Mechanic, because this is awesome. I'm trying to think of what thing. Next, hopefully we see the welding tool once I think about it, because I know there's some parts of the suspension here that hopefully they hold together. We'll see how it reacts when it turns, but it would have been nice to have a welding tool when I was doing the bottom here. There we go. Let's do that. We'll probably paint the bed black too. Just try to use like a 2-tone scheme and keep it mixed up here. So, like that. Yeah, it looks good. I am happy with the scheme here. Everything painted on the bottom, looks like. Let's go ahead and grab I think what else I need to grab here. We're going to do a back bumper. We'll do a back bumper and a hitch, and we should be in business here to start the howitzer. So let's go ahead and do a hitch here. Before I continue, before I forget really, I need to put some things on the front here. Also, I need to do a hood. I'm assuming a lot of these things, they go through water, so to keep keep water from getting in the motor, they have this little system. I don't know exactly what it's called, but Like I said, if you're in a really deep water, you know, almost up to the window, the engine will still be able to run. I'm assuming that everything's sealed. I don't know exactly how that works, but and it's not on all of them too. But one of the pictures I saw and it looks really cool. So also, let's do some sort of mirrors for the windows. So that'd be a neat block to have, some sort of mirror blocker. You know, like I really want a glass block, but also like a mirroring block would be cool too. So maybe that will be something for the future. Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. If you're asking where the picture I'm looking at, the gas tank, it sets, if you look behind the railing, there's a little bit of like an area, I guess that's where the gas tank's set. It's kind of different for a lot of them, but the picture I'm looking at, they set on the side there, and I'm assuming it's armored or something. But yeah, let's put together this howitzer. All right, let's see. Let's get it on the lift here. It took me a while to figure out, you know, the howitzer, it's not going to be able to come off, and but here's the legs on it, and those normally fold out, and we'll just go ahead and build the gun here. The gun's just going to be simple pipe, you know, nothing fancy. It's not one of the really big howitzers. Let's see. There's the wheels. Alright, let's see. I think this once it compresses, everything touches the ground. There we go. Yeah. Touches, looks good. Let's make sure it rolls. I'd hate for it not to do that. Let's get going. I'm going to have to increase the engine power. This is definitely not enough. Let's see. Yeah, the back wheels roll, so let's continue this gun. Oh, the pictures I'm looking at, I think I should just make it come up like this, and we'll put that slanted block on. There's the piece cut out for the gun. And I don't know, let's grab this piece here. This is a realistic, I think this is a modded piece, so it's just the texture's different. They don't have this block in the game, I don't believe. They really need to add more blocks like this. We need more shapes. Let's see. That looks good. It looks like the correct thing here. We'll put a bearing here, that way the gun, if we need to move it up and down, we can do that. Guess for the gun, let's go ahead and make this wider. This is not wide enough. We need to be a little closer to the wheels. So it's just almost doing this like stairs. And then we'll just cut down and do that. And let's grab that slanted piece. We'll paint this. So we'll probably still paint this thing green too. Just make it kind of uniform with the rest of the vehicle. Let's see. It looks good. The only thing I'm not happy is that the rim painting is weird, because the yellow that they use on the rims, anytime you paint it, it still bleeds through, and it kind of makes the rims look weird. I would have liked to have seen just, you know, being able to just paint them like anything else you paint, it's solid, but for some reason the tires bleed through, and I don't really understand why they do that. I don't know if there's a reason behind that, but let's see. That looks long enough, or maybe one more. A couple more. No? That looks good. That'll work. Like I said, we're not going to be able to take this thing off or anything. It's just really for cosmetic reasons, just to have it back there. Make it look like we're hauling something. Let's go ahead and put a couple blocks back this way, and then we'll paint it, and we need to do some controllers, and we should be almost ready to go to test this thing out and make sure it runs. Like all my builds, I want to make sure that everything actually functions, so... Alright, put some... Let's see, I got everything... Oh, thank God that worked. I was a little concerned about the doors closing all the way, but those worked. I put some boxes in the back, got it all painted up. I'm really happy. The way this looks really cool. It'd be really cool to have some sort of like custom, like, besides the paint tool having where you can put like emblems and stuff on there, because I'd like to put like the Army star on the door. I think that would really make this unique. I threw the boxes in the back. I actually wasn't sure if they were like loose items, but they aren't, so... Anyways, got some nice storage area. The back suspension seems to be working really well. I I'm not like a lot of these bigger builds that I've, especially all these metal builds. Anytime I've had something in the back, I mean, it's always felt really odd. Like it doesn't want to work. It would dip. And it seems like the suspension parts would, when they would compress it, it doesn't feel like it was actually working. It just felt like everything was hitting together, and it didn't really feel nice at all. But these seem to be working exceptionally well. You know. Let's see. The trailer works where the trailer's kind of hops. I'm probably going to need to put one more bearing on it to actually let it go travel up and down. It travels left and right, but it seems like, you know, that pipe, everything's really stiff, so when it gets off the ground, it actually hops the whole back end off. We'll hit a hill or two here and kind of see. I'm looking at the back suspension. That looks really cool. But yeah, you see it's kind of not on the ground. Like, it does roll, but I need another bearing where it can go up and down. But other than that, I don't think I have really much to complain about here. Build looks good. Loving the paint tool. The truck, it looks really close to what the picture I have here. And we're kind of popping the gun under it. But yeah, this is cool. Let's just drive it around a little bit more, kind of take it over some of the hills, and it maneuvers really good. I had a really large wheel well in here, so tires not catching. The interior looks pretty cool. Not really much more I could have done. Maybe I should have put a radio in there, but other than that, I think we're pretty good. You know what? One thing that's really bugging me right now is the seats. They need to be colored. So let's paint those black. But we'll do that. We'll correct the bearing in the back, and we should be complete on this build. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it. If you like the video, subscribe. Any and everything helps. We've got more scrap mechanic builds coming. Got a pretty busy week planned this week. Hopefully I can get out and push out as many videos as possible. When I say busy, I'm talking my actual job. But hopefully we can still get those videos out. So keep commenting. I love reading through them. I read through them every morning. Or actually, I can keep up with them during the day now, too. Sometimes I can answer them on my phone, depending on what I'm doing. That trailer's tripping me out. But yeah, I mean, everything's going really good. Hopefully we've, kind of met your expectations with builds, and hopefully what I'm putting out there is, quality to you guys. And I know not every build's going to be, the next masterpiece, but I try to keep build quality up fairly high. But yeah, that's going to about do it for this episode. Just let me know down in the comments below what you want to see next, and heck, even if you want to see different games, whatever you guys want to see, and I've got some things planned. So we'll see you guys next time.